What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. On this tutorial we're going to learn how to query record based on the number of days. So this is what we're going to be building on this tutorial. We're going to fetch record based on the last 7 days and last 14 days, the last 30 days and the last 60 days. So you're not limited to this number of days on your own project. So on your own project, if you want to add more days that you want to query with, you can still use it. You can still use the procedure I'm going to share with you on this tutorial to also add more on your project. And the filters are being paginated, and if you click on the next page, as you can see, it will still return the query string, giving you the accurate data based on the giving the accurate paginated data based on the filtered records. So this is what we're going to be doing using Laravel 10. Before I continue, if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly click on the subscribe button below and tap on the notification bell icon to get notification anytime I post a new video. So we're going to start by creating a fresh Laravel project using Laravel installer. So let's quickly do that. So the name of our project will be sort records. So you have to wait for it to finish installing. Okay, that's done. Next, we are going to install Laravel UI using Composer. So first, let's cd to the project that we just created. Then type Composer, acquire Laravel UI. Wait for it to finish installing. Okay, so this is done. Next, we are going to scaffold the front-end asset using PHP artisan UI. For this project, we are using Vue. It's been done. Next, we are going to run npm install and npm run dev, which I will run with sudo. So on your own project, you don't need to run it with sudo. I'm using sudo because of some security measures that I put in place in my system. Next, we are going to on npm run dev, which will now scaffold the front-end asset. Next, we're going to we'll quickly start our server. Using PHP artisan serve. So let's open this in a web browser, and there is it. So we now have our login, our register, which we are not going to be using for this tutorial. Next, we are going to open our project in a code editor, which in this case we are going to be using Sublime Text. Next, we are going to create a controller that we're going to be using for this project, which is PHP artisan make controller users controller. Next, we are going to create the route that you'll be using for this. So the route is going to be the get request, and it's going to be users. Then the method the controller is going to be using is user controller, and the method is going to be index. So let's quickly import this controller inside this our route, right? And next, we are going to go to the controller to create the method we just called from here. So index. Okay, and the controller is going to return a view named users. Let's create the view in our resource folder. See views. Inside here, we create the view, which is users.blade.php, and save it. So we're going to use the login blade, and so we copied everything on the login blade and paste it there. So we're going to remove the form inside the login blade, so that because I'm not using it. Let's close this off. We're done here, so let's close this off. Let's go back to our browser and try to visit /users and see what we have. Okay, this is what we got. So let's go back to the users. First we're going to change the header to be registered users, and you're going to have a table here, and the class. So we're using Bootstrap for the styling, so the class is table, and we're using table bordered. Next, we're going to create the header of the table. Next is going to be the name, and this is going to be the email, and lastly create a dot. So let's check back our browser, see what we have. Okay, great. Okay, next we're going to see the database, so we'll be able to see records that we are going to work with using the Laravel DB seed. But before we do that, let's quickly set up our environment file, or set up the database credentials that we're going to be using. So this is the name of the database I'm using and the password of the database. Which is this, and this. So next we're going to head to the database folder where we'll get to the factories and user factory. So here we're going to create a record using the last 60 days, so that we'll be able to see records we work with. So why I'm using the last 60 days, that's to be show you the accurate data that I'm fetching with or I'm working with, so that you're able to know the record that we'll be able to fetch. So we're going to fetch based on the last 60 days, but right now we're creating record based on the last 60 days, so that we know we are getting the right data that we need. So let's quickly do that using this now. Subdates. For us to be able to get the last 60 days when we query, we have to create this record based on the last based on the sub days of the date of 59. So something with updated that. So this is the first record we're going to create. Then let's go to the CEDA, database CEDA, and let's uncomment this. So first 10 record is going to create is going to create the record based on the last 60 days. So let's quickly go to our terminal to. I've already run migration. If you're starting with a fresh database, you have to run migration before you run the DB seed. So let's quickly run the DB seed since I've already run migration. So this is going to seed our records. So let's quickly fetch this in our controller. So let's say users. status and paginate by 10 records. So let's quickly import this user model. So we're going to pass this to the view using compat users. So let's go back to the view. Since you already have the users passed to the view, we can get it using for s. So for s is just like for each loop, but this case is going to check if the record is empty or there is record to work with. So if the record is empty, it's going to if the record is empty here, you can display an error message telling the user that the record is empty. The record found. So next we're going to end the for s loop. So create our row here first, and next is going to be number of record, the number. So this one is going to be the name. This is the email, and lastly they created that. So what we are going to do here on the number, we are going to declare a variable here and assign it to 0, and here we are going to increment the value by 1. So let's quickly see what we have. That's okay. I had a wrong spelling there. It's supposed to be paginate. Let's refresh. Okay, and there's it. So this is the last 60 records. So let's do another DB seed for the last 30 days. So 30 days, we're going to say 29. Then we're going to run on the DB seed. Okay, next we are going to create a form that we use to do the filter, and we are going to use the select, which is going to be this. We don't need the ID, and the class is going to be form control. Then give it a margin border of 3. Then the first option should be empty. Select this. Let's see what we got here. Okay, the next one should be last 7 days, which is going to have a value of 7. Second should last 14 days, which will have a value of 14. Third should be last 30 days, which is going to have a value of 30. And lastly, the 60 days, which is going to have a value of 60. Let's go back to our browser and refresh, see what we have. Okay, this is what we got. And next we are going to run the submit. We're going to do on changed, let the form submit. So on change, let the form submit. We're going to use the JavaScript on change function event. So say this dot form dot submit, which will submit the form on change. And let's see. Okay, so you can see the form is submitted on change. So next we're going to look for this days here as a query string. So if, write an if statement here. If request has this, like the users, gosh, if it has this, let's query based on this. But if it doesn't have this, return the normal record. So if it has this, meaning you're going to filter the record based on this. So use where created that is greater than or equals to. Now sub this, which we're going to use first. Let's assign this to a variable. This should be request. This we can cast it to be int if we want, and pass the days here. Slave which based on the letters, and then paginate it to be 10. And that's it here. So let's go back to the browser. Refresh and say last 7 days. As you can see, now records has been created in the last 7 days. Last 14 days, no record. Last 30 days, there is record. Last 30 days, last 60 days, there is record. So the first seed we seeded was for the last the next seed that we have seeded for the last 30 days and the last 60 days. That's why it's fetching records for the last 30 days and the last 60 days. Right now we don't have any record created for the last 14 days. That's why I say no record found. So let's quickly create a record for the last 14 days, which we're going to use 13. And let's see the record again. So let's go back to the browser and refresh. As you can see, the last 14 days record has been created. So the last 7 days the record has been created. So let's do that also for the last 7 days. So we use 6 and let's see the database too and refresh. You see record has been created in the last 7 days. So next we are going to add our pagination. So the pagination is going to be here. So let me refresh. Okay, let's fetch for the last 60 days. As you can see, this is a pagination. If you notice, this thing is scattered, like it's not well arranged because of it's trying to use tailwind for the pagination. So by default, Laravel 10 uses tailwind for pagination. So to fix this, we have to publish the pagination vendor file and tell Laravel to use Bootstrap for us, since we are using Bootstrap for the front end. So let's quickly do that using PHP artisan vendor publish. Then the pagination should be 14. So type 14. and that's it. So let's go back to our code editor, open our resource. We will now see vendor file. So the vendor file is pagination, and it is the one it's using. So let's quickly use the one we have, the bootstrap 5 pagination, and replace it with the tailwind pagination, and save it, and this will fix it. And this is it. So next we are going to, as you can see, if we click on this pagination, the query strings is not returning it. Like the last 60 days, the thing is off, and it will not give us data based on the last 60 days on the pagination. So to fix this, we are going to add with query string method on the paginate. So here is where we're going to add it with query string and save. So if we go back to the last 60 days and we say the next page, as you can see, it's giving us the accurate data because the days is still there. So what we are going to fix again is this: when this thing is selected, as you can see, the thing refresh and it doesn't return, you will know the one or the filter that you selected, except you have to look at the URL for you to be able to figure out the filter that you've selected. So to fix this, we're going to write a little if statement inside the option, so not here. So this is what we're going to do. First, we're going to check if the request this is and the request this is equals to 7. If it's equals to 7, means that the 7 is selected. So return selected. And if it's not, return an empty. So that's what we're going to do for all the options. So we copy this and paste it here and change this. Instead of 7 it's 14. This same here. So instead of 7 here, it's going to be 30, and here too, which is going to be 60. So let's go back and refresh. As you can see, it returns the selected filter, and when you're filtering, it's going to the next page, returning the query string. And when you go to the last 7 days, these are the records for the last 7 days, and there's only 10 records created in the last 7 days. Okay, lastly, I think this is the end of this tutorial. If you find this informative and helpful, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching. See you some other time.